Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm just trying to get this connected correctly. Okay. Thank you for tuning in today. Hopefully, that wasn't too loud. um, Today, we're going to talk about Stellantis. Stellantis, also known as Chrysler. They are expecting to lay off 3,000 people. And as a matter of fact, this past Friday, they began their layoffs. And this was unexpectedly um, uh, to these people. I think they probably got the hint of it, but the way they did it was kind of bold. So I want to cover that. Okay, so and then we're going to give you some follow-up information in regards to Sean D. Combs. It seems like that he um, maybe left the country, not for sure, but he came out with a statement. Sean Diddy Combs, he did divest in practically all his companies. Anything that he owned, he sold off. So we're going to talk about that, and then much more on today's episode of Business Talk. So you guys, I really appreciate you being here, and just stay tuned.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Put in the chat let me know where you're viewing from. We have, let's see who we have in the building. Carmelo Ortiz, happy Wednesday to you. Thank you for tuning in. We have Noble Young in the building. It's always good to see you. Carolyn Cruz is in the building. Thank you for tuning in. And we have Lexi that's in the building. And of course, Carolyn is viewing from Massachusetts. You guys, we're going to get started. So I'm not going to talk about Diddy right now. I'm just going to hold that off. But I do want to talk about Stellantis. Stellantis, also known as Chrysler, they have decided to lay off people. We knew this was coming because last year they negotiated this large contract with their union workers, and the government, and I'm talking about Joe Biden, has this plan for the United States and the motor companies to switch everything over to electric vehicle. So that is costing car companies a lot of money just to research and develop their plants to switch over to electric vehicles. And so with all that combination, it's okay. They're foreseeing in the future they can't afford the staff. They can't afford the staff. So they already announced that they were planning to cut approximately 3,000 jobs. And this past Friday, they decided to start, what they promised and cut 400 jobs. And this is what happened. Okay. So I want you guys just to listen to this, and we'll discuss this afterwards. If I could find it.
Shaky ground.
I was concerned because I heard rumors a couple weeks ago regarding cuts to salaried employees.
Around 8 p.m. Thursday, 400 technology workers at Stellantis, including this engineer who wants to remain anonymous, received an email informing them not to report to work Friday. Instead, they would be on a mandatory remote workday, and they were required to attend an operational meeting at a designated time. But when workers attended those meetings, they received devastating news.
It was a mass firing of everybody that was on the call.
The news felt like a punch in the gut.
Of course it was. Yes, absolutely.
Fox 2 requested an on-camera interview with Stellantis, but instead we were provided a statement which reads in part, "While we understand this is difficult news, these actions will better align resources while preserving the critical skills needed to protect our competitive advantage as we remain laser focused on implementing our EV product offensive and our Dare Forward 2030 strategic plan." But this worker and others Fox 2 spoke to believe something else is the cause.
There's a ton of jobs or positions that they began to outsource to different companies, such as India, Mexico, Brazil. So they continue to push low-cost countries are more efficient for the company and more profitable.
As hundreds of employees are let go from Stellantis, many are wondering what impact this will have on the auto industry.
The auto industry is making a lot of money, but is facing a lot of challenges. You've got the electrification situation, which is going to cost car makers a lot of money. You've got the new UAW contract that's also costing car makers a lot of money. So it's not only Stellantis, everybody is looking at the bottom line.
In fact, WWJ automotive reporter Jeff Gilbert says other car makers have already made cuts recently.
We've seen it at Ford and General Motors also. But today it's happening at Stellantis.
Gilbert makes it clear the actions by Stellantis are not reflective of the economy.
There is no talk about a downturn in the economy. This is about all of the other costs related to things like electrification, things like new technology.
Stellantis told Fox 2 these reductions will be effective March 31st, and it will offer support for those impacted, including a comprehensive separation package and transition assistance.
It's sort of sad because just years ago during the bankruptcy time, our government stuck up for us and bailed us out so that we could continue to be a company, and years later we merged with another company that just seems to be sort of dissolving us.
In Oak Park, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, the government did step up. Turn that out. The government did step up for the car companies back in 2008 because of, the economy. They were trying to stop a recession, even though we was going into a recession. One thing that we really, like I said, we knew this was going to happen. It is not a surprise. I believe it's a two-part thing. Of course, it's the economy. Then, of course, it's Bidenomics. If you're saying a car company has to switch out the way that they're doing things, stop producing gas motor vehicles, what do you expect? And then you're not giving car companies incentives to hire American people. So they're looking at India and maybe China to get cheaper labor for engineers, and they probably could do just as well as an engineer here. Now, we can't negate the fact or ignore the fact that AI is here. AI is here to stay. We can't ignore that. So as these car companies switch over to these EV vehicles and outfit their manufacturing places to service EV vehicles, most of those jobs that were on the assembly line anyway are going to get cut out because they're replacing those with robotics. And we've been seeing that for years. The amount of robots and machines that are in car manufacturing companies is growing exponentially. And now you want to say, hey, we're getting rid of gas-fired vehicles and probably was produced here, it's not. You're going to lose those jobs, and it's unfortunate. And a lot of those EV vehicles, like the technology, is coming from China. I told you the other day when I read my husband MSRP thing on the vehicle that we're leasing, and it's an EV vehicle. It's like a hybrid. It switched to gas when the power or the charge is depleted. But those motors and the transmission, it wasn't manufactured here. It was manufactured in Germany and in Mexico. So those jobs are going away. And we could blame Bidenomics and want to do this green energy deal, but I think it's a combination of things that we're facing. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of American people, white collared workers, engineers, probably product manufacturing or product development, product controls, product managers, project managers, those jobs are dwindling away because of this whole switch wanting to go to electric vehicles. So, I mean, there's nothing more I could say about that. I think Stellantis is pretty shitty for them to say, oh, this is we're going to have a mandatory work from home day. And then on that mandatory work from home day, you have a mandatory meeting and you fire everybody. It's pretty shitty of them, but that's probably what they wanted to do to, maybe they thought something was going to pop off or something if they fired a whole bunch of people while at work. You know, you got 400 people. You probably don't have enough security to control 400 people. And not to say these 400 people was going to act crazy, but like I said, they probably was looking at the logistics and, you know, just, being at work versus at home. You can't act a fool by yourself. But when it's a group of people, you could act a fool. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. You guys put it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about that. Harry Wild, thank you for tuning in. Humanoid robotics are coming very soon, 2 years. 90% will be roboticized assembly line. Yeah, and like I said, in Chrysler, Ford, GM, I don't know if you guys work for any of those companies. You could basically say that probably 90 or 80% of their line is robotics anyway. A lot of those assembly lines is robotics, and then they have people on the line to not necessarily rack the parts, but there are certain areas where they do need a human, like even quality control. But now they have life machines to probably inspect quality control. So that was soon. I don't know about 2 years from now, but probably 10 years from now, a robot will be able to replace a person. That's the way the world is going. Okay, we're going to be living in, what is it called? What's the movie called where the machines take over? Not iRobot, the old one that has a series with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's what we're going to be going through. Anyway, so let's get to our next topic of the hour. Our next topic of the hour is I have Instagram going too. I'm trying to multitask. Oh, the Terminator, Harry Wild. Yeah, the Terminator. The Terminator. Yeah, when the people took over, the robots took over, and they actually took over since the infrastructure was AI and all robotics. They took over everything. They literally took over the world. And Elon Musk, he talked about that this years ago. Hey, it's nice and easy that we're, it's good that we're looking into robotics and AI, but we want to be cautious when dealing with AI. And I think people are looking like, oh, look how easy it is, but we're putting a lot of emphasis on AI right now. It's growing rapidly. Anyway, so our next story is Puff Daddy. Okay, Puff Daddy, it's unfortunate that it's not unfortunate. Puff Daddy, he made his bed and he has to lay in it. But it's unfortunate that we're finding out now that he's affected a lot of people with his treacherous deeds. Okay. A lot of victims have came out against Puff Daddy. Also, not only victims that allege or allegations against Puff Daddy that's been made already. There's been Puff Daddy, I guess he knew what was going to happen because he sold a lot of his businesses because of these sexual allegations. Okay. Now, there's some Now, this is from Vibe magazine. Let me just show you. Diddy sells remaining Revolt TV stakes to anonymous buyer. Okay. I don't know if you guys know Revolt. It's like a it is a media company, but it's on cable. I'm not for sure if they show things on BET. I don't know what network it is affiliated with, but Revolt TV is Revolt TV. Anyway, so he sold the remainder stake. I think he sold part of it dealing with Cassie's lawsuit, but it's saying that he sold remaining stake in Revolt TV to anonymous buyer. According to TMZ, his shares were sold for an undisclosed sum, though it will remain Black owned. The outlet also details that the new Revolt boss wants to remain anonymous during this time. However, they plan to announce their arrival in the coming weeks. No other details surrounding the sale have been shared. And they're saying about the allegations, it was a shock. It sent shockwave. I don't know. In the Black community, if you got your ears to the ground, everybody used to talk about P. Diddy. 50 Cent has been a big critic of P. Diddy, saying he's, a certain type of way. And I remember he was on the Breakfast Club and he always make it a joke about it. He told, what is the name? Charlemagne that, yeah, P. Diddy offered to take me shopping. And I was like, what the F you say? What you say? And he was making a joke, but 50 Cent was like, no, you ain't gonna never take me shopping. You don't take dude shopping. And so, it's always been like a running thing with P. Diddy. It says, FYI, I won't be signing on to no third season of Revolt's Monument to Me podcast. I am a blank survivor and I cannot be a part of the show that's supposed to uplift Black women while Ed Diddy leaves the company. Believe me, believe Black women, she typed at the same time. I'm not for sure if I agree with that comments, but I do agree that, hey, if you are a victim of, this type of particular thing, you will feel something kind of way. I think you should believe the victim, but we know in the past that Me Too moment went way too far. You had people saying, "Oh, me too. I had to sleep with so and so just to get a part." No, you really didn't have to sleep with them. But if you're getting physically abused, drugged, and all that stuff, now that is different. Okay. But you saying that, oh yeah, I had to suck his ding dong to get the part. Nah, you really didn't. You could have lived without that part. So you just stood for nothing. So that Me Too moment, okay, yeah, they use their power to persuade you or manipulate you, but you could have been strong and said, hey, maybe this is not, maybe this thing is not for me. So that's neither here nor there. What I'm getting at is he sold his stake in Revolt. And then you have, some people coming out like, oh, I can't believe, he's doing this and I can't be a part of this. And so he stepped down as chairman in November of 2023. That's when Cassie came out with her allegations. And then there was another one. But Cassie, she settled the next day after this suit was filed. Everybody was mad at Cassie. I don't really blame her. Everybody wanted Cassie to lead the charge and go to court and spread all the things, the dirty things to, that Diddy did to her. But watch it, she relived that trauma. She you can't force her to relive that trauma. But anyway, so Diddy sold that, and then it's saying on here, he's also sold some other companies ownerships. Let me see. I don't think he's owner of Ciroc anymore. 18. Okay, so this was back in December of 2010 or 2023, last year. It says 18 companies cut ties with Sean Combs' business venture in the wake of sexual assault allegations. So he's they probably said, oh, we're going to buy you out or blah, blah, blah. But, it's he's been feeling it. Now, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want anybody to know what he sold these things for, or if he had a sponsorship, or if they paid him to say, hey, we don't want you part of our company anymore. Whatever the settlement was, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want anyone to know that, because of course, then that's going to, have people, even the IRS, like, okay, you didn't pay taxes on this money, number one. And number two, the people, your victims, they have access to your money. Now, another thing I wanted to point out yesterday, his assistant, I believe she was arrested. And they're saying the drug mule was arrested. Young guy. Okay, and this is the video for that.
Combs and what was found inside. As we get late word, the music mogul's attorney is firing back. Steve Patterson is with us. Steve, what are we learning?
Lester, those sweeping federal raids, all part of what a source familiar tells NBC News is a Homeland Security investigation centered on alleged sex trafficking. Multiple law enforcement sources say tonight guns were seized at both properties during the raid. And as it was unfolding, law enforcement sources say a known Diddy associate, 25-year-old Brendan Paul, was being arrested in a civil lawsuit that alleges Combs operated a criminal enterprise. An attorney accuses Paul of being a mule for Combs' drugs and guns. NBC has been unable to reach Paul, but late today, Combs' attorney called the raids an unprecedented ambush and said Mr. Combs cooperated with authorities and that his client is innocent and will clear his name. Lester?
So
at this point, we do not believe that we don't know any of these individuals still alive.
We don't know if this guy is innocent or not, But you just saw that picture that they showed. He flashed his pills out and pulled them out. Is that Diddy's drug mule? We don't know. I know he was arrested. So there was another assistant that was arrested as well. Let me see. I'm trying to find. And she made some crazy claims. The assistant made some crazy claims, and is it that crazy? I'm not for sure if it's that crazy, given all the allegations that's coming up against him and the raid. Oh, I didn't know he had 7 kids. I know he had a lot of kids, but I didn't know he had 7 of them. I'm just trying to find that Diddy. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Sean Diddy Combs' Miami mansion in chaos. Ex-assistants claims women only effable or not effable to him. Okay, Diddy's mansion was a hive of activity Tuesday following the federal raid on the property earlier, which law enforcement says it was part of a federal sex trafficking investigation. The Post has learned dark SUV were coming and going from this mansion on Star Island in Miami Beach throughout the day. Diddy, who was last photographed at Miami Airport talking animatedly on his phone after authorities intercepted a private jet he was about to take to the Caribbean, was not spotted leaving the property. Federal authorities also raided his home in Los Angeles, and they were saying that was on Monday. We already know that. And it's saying that Miami police working with federal agencies arrested one of Diddy's employees for possession of cocaine and marijuana. Meanwhile, a former employee of Jennifer Lopez, who dated Diddy from 1999 to 2001, recalled how the 54-year-old rapper was often demanding and demeaning. He felt like he was our boss by default. Lopez's former employees tells the Post he will order around her entire team as if we worked for them. Anything he wanted, we had to go fetch it. That was more annoying than anything. The employee says Diddy also often made the woman uncomfortable. Diddy seems to classify us all into 2 categories: affable or not affable. The employee says, believe it or not, it was better to be not affable. Then he just be disrespectful and act like we were there to serve him like a waitress. With the pretty guys, he'd be creepy. I don't know why they writing like that, but I guess that's how she's talking. He didn't grasp the concept of personal space. Not everyone wants to be touched by a man, even if they're rich and powerful. He put out a dark vibe. I didn't like being around him, and neither did anyone else on Lopez teams. Pictures of Monday's raid shows the federal agents leaving with bags, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is from the account of Jennifer Lopez, ex-assistant. I guess Diddy was creepy back in 1999. he classified the woman as affable. Well, we can't just say women because I hear Diddy like men too. So he classified everybody affable or not affable. Very, very creepy. And that's probably why J-Lo, maybe that's why their relationship didn't last too long. Okay. So that's that. Then, there's an article out here listing all the sexual allegations against Diddy. All the sexual allegations against Diddy. And it's naming, there Cassie is on here. Let's see how many people. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, I guess he's a rapper maybe. It says most recent lawsuits. That was filed on February the 26th. Little Rod is a producer. Oh, you know what? Isn't that what's her name? Brandy? Isn't that Brandy's baby daddy? Rodney? I thought she was had a baby with Rodney. Anyway, you guys put that in the chat. He was subjected to unwanted advances by associates of Diddy at his direction. Oh my God. The producer who worked for Combs between 2022 and 2023 claimed Combs sexually harassed him, drugged him, and threatened him for more than a year. He said he has video and audio of the evidence. Okay. So this is sad. Ryan Mendelson, 20, who used to live in the area where Combs told reporters that he sees, or that's the guy that we saw yesterday on our video. Joey Dickerson Neal filed the lawsuit in 2023. It was a student in 1991. She claimed Combs pushed her to go to dinner with him, and she agreed reluctantly in January the 3rd, 1991, which is when she alleges she was drugged, resulting in her being physical state where she could not independently walk. And then the suit also claimed he recorded the assault and showed it to other people. Does this sound familiar? This is the MO of people that does this kind of thing. They record their victims. They record their victims. They drug them and record the victims. It's like a trophy to them. Anonymous plaintiff, they're saying back in 1990 and 91. It's sad because if you look at Sean Puffy Combs, he probably was, on the up and coming. I'm trying to think, when did Biggie get really big? Because that was like his claim to fame. But when that happened, he's probably was up and coming. He probably was broke at this time, maybe. I'm not for sure. But he seemed like he could pull women, but it's just a power and control thing. He's really sick in the head. Unnamed accuser Jane Doe. She said she was gang assaulted, drugged, accused Combs in a sex trafficking scheme. This was in 2003. He responded to these particular allegations, has strongly denied it, and all accusations against him vowed to fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Okay. So those are the people. So that's like 5 or 6 people that came forward against Sean Puffy Combs, Sean Diddy Combs, whatever you want to call him. And you guys remember that eerie video with Usher.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loan.
Remember, he claimed that Diddy, it was strange, and he used to have like wild parties.
for a year. It was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
So, and he claimed his curious things taking place and he didn't really understand it. But, at 13, you're exposing a 13-year-old to this type of lifestyle. He probably was trying to groom Usher, maybe. And I'm not for sure if him and Usher ever had any sexual relationship or encounters. We could say encounters. But we know Sean Puffy Combs, Diddy Combs, whatever you want to call him, he used his power to manipulate people. That's basically what, and he took advantage of people, and he sexually assaulted people, allegedly. This is all allegedly. We could say we know for a fact with Cassie, because why would you settle? Why would you settle if you didn't do these claims against her? Okay. So that's about it on that. You guys put in the chat, let me know what you think about this whole situation. Harry Wild says this story is going to be a Hollywood movie in the near future. Yeah. Poor Ben Affleck. This could start him back on the bottom again. Yeah, you know what? And you really think about it, everybody was like, "Oh, Jennifer Lopez, she was getting with Sean Puffy Combs because she wanted to further her career." I think it did take her career a little bit further, but I don't know about the acting stuff, but I think she was trying to get into music stuff then. So maybe that, but then she went to the next level. And I think she was like, okay, this guy, I don't want to be around. Then, she got a butt reduction. Now they trying to get butt enlargement, but Jennifer Lopez, she had a big booty. And she got a butt reduction. Kennard the DJ, low key, I heard Puff is an honorary member of the Trick Daddy Eat Booty gang. Ugh. Well, Trick Daddy, let's see his face. I always say he looked like he eat something, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy because he got that face like he stank. He has a face like, let me share this tab with you. That's a stank face. Yuck. And he takes pride in like, oh, I eat the booty. But just like, I don't know. It's disgusting. Okay, so I didn't know Sean Combs was in that. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. If you like men and women, doesn't matter what you really do. You just greedy at that point. So I don't put any restrictions on what he does. Carolyn Cruz said, I'm in shock. Nasty lifestyle. NWA got first single in 1989. Biggie was 93, 94. Yeah. Okay. So the anonymous allegation was right before he actually got really famous. I didn't know that. Sheriff of YouTube said Puffy said he used to wake up in the same bed as Usher. He probably drugged him too. Poor boy. That's sad. That is sad. Were you joking about the booty thing? I don't know. Kennard, the DJ, said he was joking about the booty thing. I think allegedly. You could say allegedly. So this last story I want to share with you guys. It is very tragic, but it's about the Baltimore bridge being crashed into. And only reason why I wanted to share this story because it kind of irritated me. It irritated me that Twitter, you have some conservative people, I don't know why, they're getting confused about what DEI is. So they're going across YouTube saying, oh, this is a DEI mayor. Do we really actually know what DEI means and how it's a DEI hire? It's not, those are not elected officials. DEI doesn't equate to elected officials. Now we could say, yeah, this is probably identity politics. Somebody was hired or elected because of their identity, but diversity, equity, and inclusion has nothing to do with elected officials. Now, you guys tell me if I'm going in the wrong direction. This is just a personal opinion of mine. So I was just, looking on YouTube and not YouTube, but Twitter, and I just searched for Baltimore mayor. Okay. And some people are saying Baltimore mayor, East Palestine, and this is from DC Drano. They all were under the direction of Pete Buttigieg. They're blaming this bridge collapsing, and it didn't collapse. The actual barge crashed into the bridge, so it collapsed, and they were actually doing work on the bridge. And so some people are saying, oh, why did it collapse so fast? Why did it fail so fast? It's like, well, the bridge or the barge, I guess it lost its hydraulics and it couldn't stop or it couldn't maneuver, so it crashed into one of the pillars. So it collapsed the bridge. Don't know how fast the barge was moving, but we do know it was a pretty big barge. So, and I don't know if you call those boats barge. Barges are really the the ships that contain oils. I don't know if they call the container ships the same thing as barges. So excuse me if my vocabulary is wrong. So I've been seeing this, people are saying, trying to say, I can't believe my son's youth football coach is the mayor of Baltimore. Yeah, he's young. He's 39 years old. He's just as young as Tiffany. Some people are saying, how is this guy is the mayor? And what he said, I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. Now, what he said afterwards, I was like, okay, why would you even say that? But this is some of the things that he said about the bridge during the night when the bridge was crashed into.
And thank them, all of them, everyone. This is a unthinkable tragedy. We have to first and foremost pray for all of those who are impacted, those families. Pray for our first responders and thank them, all of them working together, city, state, local, to make sure that everyone. This is a.
So that was just, and they keep on playing this 19-minute or 19-second clip. Okay. So, and it's saying, these reporters ask the most dumbest questions at times, as if he had the time and date announced the rebuilding of the bridge. I love the way he handled the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, meet 39-year-old Brandon Scott, mayor of Baltimore. I don't agree the way he answered this question. They asked him, hey, when do you expect for them to rebuild the bridge? Yeah, I don't know the date or time, but he said, oh, we shouldn't be thinking about that now. No, I know, I think it was like 6 people that end up that they can't find. So we could just assume that these people lost their lives. So we could just assume that. But you still the mayor. You still have to answer questions, okay? Because your economy depends on this bridge. This is probably the only way in and out of wherever.
The souls, the lives that we're trying
So
to save.
he's saying, let me just play this.
How long is it going to take to rebuild this, Mayor?
I think right now, sir, listen, we shouldn't even be having that discussion right now. The discussion right now should be about the people, the souls, the lives that we're trying to save. There will be a time to discuss about a bridge and how we get a bridge back up. But right now, there are people in the water that we have to get out, and that's the only thing we should be talking about.
I don't agree what this lady is saying. I just don't agree with it because, yeah, we could die. We could die tomorrow. Should life stop because one person or 6 people die? How many people in Baltimore that cross that bridge on a daily basis? And what is the bridge called? I forget the name. Oh, Francis Scott Key Bridge. And I'm just typing in here. How many people use Francis I just typed in how many people use Francis Scott Key Bridge on a daily basis. And they're saying that 35,000 people use the bridge daily. A port of Baltimore generates more than 15,000 direct jobs with nearly 140,000 additional jobs affected to some extent by the port's activity. It's saying the economy could lose 15 million from incomprehensible Baltimore bridge collapse. This is what, okay, so going back to what I was saying, DEI, and we could go and look at these pictures, that bridge be closed, stupid shit like that. People are so ignorant. Baltimore's DEI mayor say no to racism. I think it's very ignorant of people. Calling the Black mayor of Baltimore DEI mayor is actually a useful illustration of what they actually mean by the term. This is a Baltimore DEI mayor commenting on the collapsed bridge. It's stupid. Stop doing that. I think it makes you look ignorant when you say this is a DEI mayor, and then you have community notes on Insta or X saying Brandon Scott was elected for mayor of Baltimore with 70% of the vote. He did not come in office through DEI practices. Hello, that's why I said you look really ignorant. So I wish all these conservative people stop doing stupid shit like this. I mean, if you make conservatives look retarded. So stop doing that. Unless you just saying that because you just don't like Black people. Okay, just let's say that. But what I'm getting at now, you can't criticize him for saying, oh, we should be focusing on there's bodies in the water. Okay. There's bodies in the water. Sorry for your loss. I'm not trying to pass what happened or overshadow what happened. But look, our economy depends on this bridge. Our economy would lose $15 million daily from incomprehensible Baltimore bridge collapse. That's more impactful than, hey, there's 6 bodies in the water. We're talking about you're affecting damn near 35,000 people. This is why I believe Black folks, sometimes they get too emotionally caught up. You're the mayor, and I'm criticizing the mayor right now. You're the mayor of Baltimore. You have to make sure your people can eat. They can make a living. They don't care if there's 6 bodies in the water. They dead now. And like I said, no shade. I'm not trying to overshadow the people that was lost, but they're dead. They're dead now. We're still living. I still got to feed my family. So, yeah, the reporter is not trying to say, oh, we're trying to overshadow or not take account to the people that was lost. No, they just want to know, what can they tell the public? How long are we going to deal with this situation of whether or not I'll be able to work at the port? Because that's going to affect how I feed my family, how I pay rent. Are you going to provide some rental assistance to me? Are you going to provide some food assistance? And maybe I don't want your rental assistance. Maybe I don't want your food assistance. I don't want that. I want to be able to work. You guys let me know if I'm going in the wrong direction. So if me being a conservative or thinking logically, I'm criticizing, number one, these stupid people on Twitter. Oh, he's a DEI mayor. Stupid. And then I'm criticizing this mayor because what he said was really stupid. Both of them. Both of these people, all these people are stupid. My own personal opinion. Okay, so the economic impact that's going to be felt by Baltimore and the state of Maryland is incomprehensible, Kane says in the phone interview. It doesn't just affect Maryland, this affects the entire East Coast up to Mississippi. Yeah. Kane said the Port of Baltimore has been one of the biggest economic drivers in Maryland. Yeah, when you have a port, it does generate a lot of business. It's an import and export thing. You are able to generate a lot of jobs in for your economy. I'm not for sure. This is what Detroit is criticized for, because they're not using airport. I mean, they use it, but they don't really. It should be popping in Detroit, but it was, I guess, the mismanagement of funds, corruption. They were not using it, and Kwame Kilpatrick was trying to revitalize it before he got kicked out. He was trying to do that. I don't know about this mayor, but that whole strip of the water, it's really nice right now, but I'm not for sure what they're doing about their import and exports. I got to really look into it. But what I'm getting at is, and I'm criticizing Black folks. Black folks, we get too emotionally caught up about death, about just racism, period, about stuff that really is not going to move the needle, and stuff that you really shouldn't be focused on. You're like I said, you're the mayor. Your main focus, of course, is to, hey, we want to exhume the bodies that were tragically lost. Of course, we want to do that. But your main focus on, okay, when we going to get this bridge back up, because we got some people that need to get to work. Or how else can are we transporting people by ferry? How many ferries you need to, hey, let's get some logistics. Do we have any ferry boats available? Let's get those people back to work. And if you're not doing that, if you're not thinking, that's not on the top of your mind, well, maybe you shouldn't be the mayor. Maybe you shouldn't be the mayor. That's my own personal opinion, you guys. That's how I feel. Anyway. Harry Wild, DEI are the opposite of mediocrity pigs. The barge was moving about 7 knots with top speed of 35 knots. You got to give me miles per hour. So they were moving 1/3 of the speed that they actually could. That's what. But look, what's the force on that? I don't know what knots is because I'm not a boat person, so I'm not for sure. Let me just pull that up. Knots equivalent equal miles per minute. That's what per hour. Maybe I want to do that. Okay, 1 knot equals 1.1 mile per hour. That's what it's saying. So that's what I was trying to make a correlation to miles per hour to 1 knot. So you're saying that 7 miles, well, 8 miles per hour. Is that so they were, since they lost their hydraulics, maybe they couldn't control that, how much impact. I had to do some calculations, like what's the force of that? Is that bridge designed to sustain what type of force? You know, we could get scientific in this. Why were they repairing the bridge? It was still open because people were driving by, but what was the whole purpose of their them repairing the bridge? Was it this type of bridge? Was it like really in bad shape? Was it should have been able to sustain impact of 7 knots? Did you put 7 knots? Is that what were you saying? 7 knots, right? Yeah, 7 knots. I'm not for sure. So those are the questions that I will have to ask. Now, Pete Buttigieg, we already know Pete Buttigieg, he's going to bring racism for this bridge collapse because he already said the roads are racist. Then this is what Pete Buttigieg, the guy over the transportation, says: the roads are racist. They're not designed for Black people. So I'm assuming all the people that's under the water that lost their lives in this tragic event, were they Black people? I'm not for sure. Were these people Black? I'm laughing because it sounds really ludicrous. That's why I'm laughing. It sounds really ludicrous saying, oh, this bridge was racist. This bridge was not designed for Black people. Okay, so we know he's going to blame the racist roads. Harry Wild said bridge repair for potholes. And you're saying that the U.S. Corp engineers could do it in a month. Yeah, and you know what? You're talking about engineers of America. This is the United States government, so they're designed to assess critical damages, maybe make repairs in a probably more effective way than, hey, I'm going to hire some Joe Schmo contractor to repair the bridge, even though they might be experts, but they probably could make repairs in a much faster and efficient way, and more cost effective way. I just want to share this audio with you guys because the Baltimore mayor got mad and said, please stop sharing the bridge collapse. It's like, well, you know, people are going to share it. You know, this is, we have it on video, so we're going to share it. So it's like you're trying to make people feel some type of way. I'm not for sure. He's trying to force people to I guess be more compassionate. I'm not for sure. But this is news. Let me see if I can find it. Okay.
Order processing and order management, probably it saves up.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why I did that.
%70 of the time.
So it says Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott demands media stop using video of bridge collapse after snapping at reporter for asking when will it be rebuilt. It's traumatizing our community. Like I said, you're too emotionally caught up on something that you shouldn't be emotionally caught up. Yeah, we want to send our condolences, but it shouldn't stop you from doing our job. Do you need a bereavement day? Come on now. What's going on? And then you're a 39-year-old man.
Saw the pictures of actually what that bridge. What were your initial thoughts?
Well, it was something out of an action movie. It's something you never think you would see. And
I'm going to.
You thought at first light this morning when you saw the pictures of actually what that bridge looks like with the barge slammed into it there. What were your initial thoughts?
Well, it was something out of an action movie. It's something you never think you would see. And being here right now, looking at it, is even more surreal. And it just makes you think about, again, those families, those individuals that were on that bridge, those folks that even on that vessel, even more, because no one should have to endure. And I'm going to be the first to ask that CNN and everyone else stop showing the video. No one needs to see a possibility of their family member being severely injured or otherwise over and over and over again, because it's just traumatizing our community.
Fair enough.
So
order processing and order management.
He said stop sharing the video. Okay. I mean, I could see him, hey, stop sharing the video, but this video has been captured, replayed on Twitter, and you have social media. People are going to reshare this video. But it, like I said, it's sad that this happened. This is a tragedy. But to move forward, you got to man up, dude. You can't just say, "Oh, we shouldn't be talking about that now." No, we should be talking about this now. We want to have a moment of silence for the people, for the individuals that lost their lives, but you still have other people. You don't know what their situation is. Maybe they living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe they starving at home. We don't know. So for you to be a mayor, you just got to think about, okay, what's the next step? How can I move my people forward and be like, what is it? A shining light to the people that lost their lives. Okay. Have a visual. Have a visual or a candlelight visual. That's what I'm saying. Have a memorial service for these people. That's how you could do that. But you can't criticize people and get mad at them because they ask you, okay, do you know when are we gonna start moving forward to rebuild this bridge? Anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. So that was it for our live today. You want to like, subscribe, and share this channel, you guys. And what we'll talk about, I think they're going to have some more information about your girl Tiffany Henyard. I've seen a couple of stories today. I just didn't want to feel like talking about her. So I think I'm going to talk about her tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on with Puff Daddy and Friends. We'll probably talk about him tomorrow. Anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.